Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Unfolding Stock Market Crash. Wow, what a year this is. I'm not going to take much of your time. Okay, this is December 23rd. We just finished a little office party here, but I didn't want to not have something for you this week. So I thought I'd do a recap of what is going on, what we can look forward to. All I can tell you right now is that the inflation, they're trying to play it down. They're trying to say it's over with. No, it's peaking. No, it's not. We'll always have inflation as long as they keep printing money. Inflation's gone up 2,321% since they started in 1913 with this Federal Reserve. It's destroying the economy. Nothing destroys an economy, a system of government, like inflation does. It destroys it. And I'm not just saying that. Over the 222 years and 46 presidents, they all agree with me. So to understand what's going to happen, everybody's going to be talking about it around their Christmas table today. Christmas. What do they think the market's going to do? So let me give you a little recap and give you a little information, maybe that will help you with the discussion. When the market crashed in 2008, November 2008, they printed quickly $3.1 trillion. They would not allow it to go into a recession. You got to let the recession happen because recessions are important. Because if you don't do recessions, then you're acting like a Marxist country, okay, where you're holding up all the bad players. You're supporting the bad players. The great thing about capitalism, the bad players who are not responsible people, they go bankrupt. That's it. You take their assets, give it to the stronger people, and that's how you become a strong country. That's how you become a strong economy. As soon as you start going in and propping everybody up, that's Marxism for you. So they decided not to go into a recession, which is the biggest mistake, and this all has to do with Baby Bush and then Obama. So they printed $3.1 trillion to purchase treasuries. They did it 4 times, QE1, QE2, the twist, and 3. Between 2008, November, and October 2012, $3.1 trillion was printed, but then they printed another $24 trillion on top of that, about 4 days after they started the first round of $3 trillion. So now between 2008 and 2014, with $24 trillion on top of $3.1 trillion, the market rallied 123%. But guess what? Without having any increase in earnings, no increase in sales, no increase in earnings, no increase in profits. It was all stock buybacks and buying treasuries to bring interest rates down to zero so you could print the money and give it to companies to buy their own stock back. Soon, 2014, as I said, they had 123% rally. Market starts to collapse. 2015, they printed 51 trillion. Injected it again. Stock buybacks and buying mortgage-backed securities and all that crap. 65% the market rallied. So all of a sudden they say, wait a minute, this is pretty cool. 3.1 trillion, printed another 24 trillion, printed another 51 trillion, and all of a sudden the market's up over 125%. More than that, a lot more than that. This is pretty good, and we don't need any earnings or profits. Wow. But after they printed that 51 trillion between 2015 and 2019, where the market went up 65%, even though they were celebrating and thinking, wow, this is pretty good. You don't need profits anymore, earnings. Just buy stocks, your own stocks back. They saw a crash coming in 2019. They hurried up and they printed $9 trillion. They thought they would stop it. That'd be the safety net. Inject another $9 trillion into the market. As you know, the crash happened anyways, 2020. The market dropped 31% between February 2020 and the end of March 2020. 31%. This is when it gets good. Unbelievable stupidity. They now have the COVID rally. Now, they were so delighted because when the market dropped February 2020, 31%, remember, they knew the market was going to drop in 2019. That's why they printed $9 trillion to try to stop it. But they were so grateful that we had this COVID-19 because they could use that as the excuse and not inflation, not the fact that we're doing no business investment. Think about this. In 2018, only 215 of the S&P 500 companies spent money on equipment, business investment. 38 of 215 companies contributed 75%. So business investment was gone. Why put money in business investment? CEOs were deciding, take the money and buy my own stock, because I have stock options. I'm the CEO, and myself, the biggest shareholders in Wall Street, that's it. They're all going to benefit. Screw Main Street. So no business investment. Stock buybacks got so bad, they printed $4 trillion for stock buybacks between 2009 and 2020. Stock buybacks have been the only net source of money entering the stock market since 2008. So they had a big rally, as you know. The market rallied up from the lows of March 2020. And when they got done, they looked, and we had a rally that was up $15 trillion. The rally from the lows of March 2020 to 2021, it was about 100%. But guess what? They gained $15 trillion. Well, who got that money? Where'd all that money go? To the top 1%. Who's that? That's just 1.3 million households out of 128 million. They got all the money. Oh, sorry. And 70 billionaires. They gained 1.5 trillion each. This is unbelievable. This is a killer. It's killing this country. Stock buybacks have been the only net source of money entering the stock market since 2008. That's why in 2019, they saw a crash coming. And that's why they pumped that $9 trillion to try to stop it. Well, it didn't work, as you know. So, from 2008 to 2021, the market went up 583%. With no business investment, no profits. And where'd that money go? The same place that the $15 trillion went to, top 1%. And our owners won 1/100th of 1%. And Main Street got screwed because Main Street got screwed with all the inflation. And they got all the financial headwinds. Main Street got nothing. And they didn't care. Congress didn't care. Nobody cared. Everybody was getting rich who were the top 1%. Now you got the financial headwinds. You got the yield curve inverting. That tells you a crash is coming. Never been wrong. You got raising rates, tapering the QE, historic inflation, historic stock valuation, historic margin debt, historic with equity draws out of homes to pay bills. Historic margin calls. More people are borrowing money than ever to buy stocks. And we have a negative discretionary income. So let's think about it. There's nothing worse than inflation. So that's where we stand going into this year. Now, what's going to happen? Well, I just see a big crash. I see it coming. So I'm trying to tell my members, if you're a member, you know this, prepare yourself. It's going to happen. Now, how long can they keep it going? Well, they've been keeping it going for a very long time because of what I just explained. We've never been through this. But here's what they did to try to extend this, and they could probably extend it some more. Yeah, they can. Let me tell you why. Because they knew in 2019 the market was ready to crash. They printed $9 trillion to stop it. It didn't work. Market went down, as you know, in February 2023, 1%. Now, what they're thinking is, you know what? We need help from the government. We need help from the government. They gotta start doing some of the heavy lifting here. That's exactly what they're doing. What does that mean? Well, they decided, look, QE isn't enough. Let's do different social programs. And that's what they've been doing. They've been doing all the different social programs. Look at the programs they've been doing. My God. You got the COVID program. I mean, you got the American plan. I mean, there's so many plans. I can't even remember all the names without going looking them up. But they have. I mean, and they're going to continue to do that. Remember now, they started out with the CARES Act, right? And then after the CARES Act, they decided let's do the American Rescue Plan. Well, the American Rescue Plan, remember, ended, okay, in September. But That's why they came up with, let's do the American Family Plan now, the Build Back Better plan. Why? Because in that American Rescue Plan, which stopped in September, remember, was the big child care. That was $2,000 to $3,000 a child. They needed that because they know people are hurting. And they also, in that care, they also wanted to get through the preschool, free preschool, and all these other social programs. So when Manchin didn't go along, Schumer turned around yesterday and said that he's going to bring it to a vote. He thinks he can get Manchin to at least, let's water this down and let's get to everybody, the child, $2,000-3,000 each child. Let's get the child tax credit. Let's get that at least through. And they're going to try to get through the subsidies for rent, okay, and for when you get behind on your house payment. And then yesterday what happened, what made the rally yesterday was when Biden came out and announced he's going to extend again, okay, you don't have to pay your student loans anymore. Remember, it was extended when he became president. It was supposed to be done in that September. He extended it to September. Then he extended it to January. Now he's extending it again. He's extending it to May. So see what's going on here? And in that program, the new program here, the American Family Plan, that ties back to the American Rescue Plan, that's in there. That's in there. Pay the student loan debt, along with mortgage subsidies, rent subsidies, and all the things I just named. So that tells you how tough this economy is. But I just wanted to wrap this up with this. The big problem we got is this. We have a situation that the Federal Reserve, by doing all this, they opened up the door for people like AOC, okay, and her squad. That's the problem. Because remember, the progressives, how they look at it, okay? The progressives think, we stand for social justice. We stand for equality. We think that big government can do things much better. And wait a minute, think of their argument. Oh, you got to look at what's going on. Look what they've done since 2008, the government, the Federal Reserve, not government, but you understand. Who got screwed? The working class. They all got screwed. They're left with the inflation, all the printing of money while everybody else is getting rich. So they even Trump, I got to blame him. Okay? They've opened the door with all this printing of money for these programs. So what's happening is the progressives, they've been out there saying, look, we need big government because we can do it better. We can control the financial system much better. We can control energy much better. And people are going, you know what? I'm not talking about the 1%. I'm talking about the guy, the worker, the 168 million workforce, who the average person makes about $38,000 combined income. They make 48 to 75,000, okay, and they're suffering. He's saying, you know what? Yeah. The government hasn't done very well by me now. I'm going to be open to this. This is why people keep saying, how do we get to the point where people want socialism? Because this is what they brought us there. Because we've made the argument for them that the progressives stand for social justice. We have no social justice. They stand for equality. We have inequality. And so they're convincing people they can do a better job. They want to replace the monetary policy of business investment and productivity with nothing but print and spend social programs. And if they do that, we're talking about, inflation like you never saw. You're going to see you're going to see oil go $100 a barrel like that. So that's where we are right now. And just lastly, to wrap this up, I want to show you something on the chart here. If you remember, right here is when that market dropped. Okay, that was in February 2020. Right here, we dropped 31%. Remember, from that point, look at the rally we had. Now, who got all that money? Remember, that rally was about 100%, 95 to 100% rally. 15 trillion in gains. And it went to, out of how many households? Out of 200 and, I have 128 million households. 1.3 million got all this money. You see what's going on? This is why it's scary when you listen to AOC and all them. It's pretty hard to argue with their point. And who do you blame? Our politicians. So what are you and I going to do? We can't fix that. I'm not a politician. We can be prepared and learn how to sell short. Now, look, if you have friends or family, it's the only way they're going to protect themselves, selling short. They're not going to protect themselves by going out and listening to these business news networks and where they go, we got to diversify. You diversify right into the poorhouse. When everything goes down, nothing is safe except selling short. And we have a beautiful video to sell short, how to short, okay, in our holiday gift shop. So check that out, or become a member for 10 days, and still get buy the video. You got to do something. Look, I want you to have a great Christmas. I don't want to be throwing all this negative stuff on you, but it's reality, and we got to be prepared when we come back. And I'm going to do my job, make sure my members are prepared. I'm going to do my job that when the market crashes, they're going to be happy because they're going to be making money on the way down. And I'm going to make sure they're in a position. They don't care if the market goes up or down because they'll consistently make money over the year. Okay, have a great Christmas. Have a great New Year. We'll see you on the charts.